All right, Karwan Zebari joins us now live from Washington, D.C. He is the Director of Congressional Affairs for the Kurdistan Regional Government and co-founder of the American Kurdish Council. Thank you very much, Mr. Zebari, for being with us. First of all, just tell us why are the Kurdistan Democratic Party and the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan still designated as terrorist groups by the U.S. administration? What's your understanding of America's policy on these two groups?
Well, after September 11, the U.S. Congress established the Department of Homeland Security, and also it passed a set of laws for the Department of Homeland Security to abide by. And there's a paragraph that says there's a Tier 3 designation in there that says any group consisting of 2 or more people that uprises against its host country or host government will be considered as a Tier 3 terrorist organization. And so by default, the KDP, the Kurdistan Democratic Party, and the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, PUK, the 2 main Kurdish political parties, uprised against Saddam Hussein for decades. So by definition, these 2 political parties were categorized as such.
So if I understand you correctly, these 2 political parties and 2 Kurdish presidents are on the blacklist because they had once carried arms against Saddam Hussein?
That is correct. The Kurdistan Democratic Party is headed by the president of Kurdistan region of Iraq, and the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan is headed by the president of the Republic of Iraq. And so by definition, the 2 political organizations were designated as such.
But the Kurds were America's allies. They contributed to the downfall of Saddam Hussein. How did the relationship evolve over the years, and how do the Kurds view America today?
Both the U.S. administration, as well as the executive and the legislative branches, both agree that this definition was too vague at the time that this piece of legislation was passed, and they have assured us, and they went on record as late as last week, when the Assistant Secretary Brett McGurk went on record in front of the House of Representatives Foreign Affairs Committee to say, look, we remain committed. We are 100% supportive of removing the KDP and PUK from this designation.
So why haven't they? Why hasn't this happened?
Well, to amend this piece of legislation, it takes a long time. This is something that has to be drafted, and it has to be passed by the House of Representatives, and it goes to the other side of the aisle in the Senate, and the senators have to also vote on it and pass it. So legislatively, it takes a while for this designation to be fixed.
And so then, is this the only reason why President Masoud Barzani didn't visit Washington as expected? Because there was an earlier statement, there was a bit of confusion from the President's Chief of Staff, who said he didn't come because of a timing issue. What's the real reason that he chose not to go to Washington?
Correct, and I believe the Chief of Staff, Dr. Fuad Hussein, went back on the record and clarified this specific statement. Timing was one of the factors, and the designation obviously had something to do with it as well for the President. Like, this was a commitment that was mutually agreed by the U.S. administration and the President of the Kurdistan region of Iraq, Mr. Masoud Barzani, during his visit in April of 2012, that this designation would be fixed, this designation would be removed. But because of the time, because it's taking so long, unfortunately this designation continues to do damage to the KDP and PUK's image abroad.
So what are the Kurds going to do in the future if this designation is not removed? What's the relationship going to be like if this continues?
Well, I don't think this will deteriorate the relationship. We have commitments, and the U.S. administration, the U.S. government has gone on record and said that we will fix this. The Kurds are our friends, and we continue to strengthen these ties. The Kurdish, the KRG and the U.S. government relations are not based on 1 or 2 items, but this is something that certainly has to get fixed. We need a full commitment from the U.S. government to continue to work on this, to keep this momentum going, to push on and support the legislative side of things so that this designation is fixed. And all branches of the U.S. government, executive and legislative, are saying we will fix this. And as a matter of fact, we had an amendment that was introduced as part of the National Defense Authorization Act, which passes the budget for the U.S. military in late 2013, that would have removed this. However, because of the timing and a number of amendments, too many number of amendments being introduced, this particular one was not included.
Okay, Mr. Zebari, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Thanks for your insight there.
Pleasure with you.
Thank you.